Yo, what's up guys, Gaming Magic 13 here, and welcome back to the 100% walkthrough for LEGO Batman the video game. Today I'll be playing through the 4th mission of the Riddler's Revenge, A Poisonous Appointment, and picking up the superhero achievement along the way. As soon as the mission begins, you'll be swarmed by 2 Poison Ivy goons, which are the equivalent of Riddler henchmen in that they can carry guns and won't fire them if you get up in their face, so charge them down and punch them until they die. As always, follow along with what I break throughout this video to attain the superhero of 78,000 studs. Now once you move close to the center area, you'll be swarmed by 2 Riddler henchmen with a 3rd henchman hanging back. As before, charge them down and punch them to death. There will also be 1 Poison Ivy goon, but it's a non-threat. 1 hit should take it out, no problem. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This first area is pretty boring if you're going for a superhero. Because while you could quickly proceed to the next area immediately, you will get 39% of that 78,000 studs in this area and 55% of it in the next area, both of which requires a substantial amount of smashing everything in the area. I'll point out major things that I'm using for stud collection, as well as how to proceed to the next section with my commentary, but for small things such as flowers and benches, you can just follow along with the video. After you construct this tractor, you can hop into it, and this is pretty much your tank for this section. You can destroy almost everything in the entire section except for Robin, apparently, with this tractor. And it's going to make stud collection for this section significantly easier, but also a little bit slower. Also, vehicles are not immune to water. Come over to this garden near the beginning of the level and reconstruct each of these sets of seeds into a group of carrots, which you will then smash. Though it should already be common knowledge, I'll say it again. Use the batarang to take out large groups of objects. For instance, large groups of carrots. You'll notice here that I leave this 1 lonely carrot standing. Why do I do that? It's not for anything to help me beat the level, but as you may or may not already know, if you break all of these carrots, a LEGO mini kit pops out. And while it doesn't automatically go into your inventory, I don't trust myself not to run into it. So, as with all mini kits, I am going to leave that carrot standing so I don't accidentally trigger the mini kit spawning, because remember, I'm saving all mini kits and red power bricks for the free play videos. To collect a group of studs hovering above this small pool of water, break open these vines on the wall and a bunch of pieces will fall to the ground. You can then reconstruct these pieces into a sprinkler, allowing you to launch yourself up and collect these studs. If you're playing on co-op and you want a second tractor for your partner, well, here's your opportunity. Break open the second garden from the left along the bottom side, and then reassemble the pieces into another tractor. If you're playing solo, this is completely unnecessary because the tractor will spawn and even if you drive it straight into the water, but it's there if you're playing on co-op. Well, so much for leaving that carrot standing. But as shown here, it does not automatically go into your inventory. This is entirely optional as it doesn't give you any studs except for when you first construct the sprinkler. But if you want to, reassemble these pieces into a sprinkler, then grab the tractor and run them over the newly sprouted seeds to make them bloom with flowers. They won't give you any studs, but it's something cool to do if you want to. Also, if your tractor gets stuck like this, just run it along the sides of the pool, and it'll get out. When you're ready to proceed with the mission, hop on the tractor and smash into this centerpiece in the center of everything. Don't worry, I'll come back to those pieces later. Then you can use the tractor to smash up every garden in this entire section. However, something vehicles are incapable of doing is killing things. So you're going to have to hop out of the vehicle to deal with the Poison Ivy Goon, Riddler Goon, and Riddler Henchman. At this point, you should know how to deal with all of them, that being henchmen go up in their faces to disarm them with their weapons, same thing with Poison Ivy Goons if they have them, and Goons just take a couple punches to go down. If you want to earn some quick studs, hop off near this garden and reassemble these pieces into a little mini lawnmower. It'll crash quickly and you'll get some studs. Once you've smashed pretty much everything in the area, return to the center where we dropped those pieces before, hop out of the vehicle if you're in one, and reassemble the pieces into a Batman changing station. Hop in and equip the Sonic Suit. As Alfred's quick to point out, the Sonic Suit will allow you to shatter anything with a light blue tint on it. To do that, you can simply hold down the build button. This is mostly used for windows, doors, and other things you need to use to break into certain places. And for this particular instance, we're going to use it to enter the next area. I did this so I could show you guys that you just can't get this tractor into that small section to crush it. It just cannot be done. When you're content that you've smashed everything you need to, use your Sonic Suit to break open these glass doors. You need to hold the build button, remember. And don't leave without smashing up these windows as well. After smashing a few things with some studs, use the sonic suit to shatter these 3 glass tubes on the side of the wall. As soon as the flower wall falls, get ready to be charged by a poison ivy goon and 2 Riddler goons. Riddler goons go down in a couple punches, and just charge down the poison ivy goon so it can't fire its weapon. You're gonna see these green, yellow, and red pieces cluttering the ground, and if you're concerned about not being able to break them, you're not supposed to. Don't worry, we'll deal with those later. I honestly didn't intend to do that, but that room's toxic. Don't go in. Shatter down this glass pane to enter up in this next area, punch this guy out if you want to, and then shatter this glass tube. There are going to be a few poison ivy goons, some armed with guns, some not, but you should know how to deal with them by now. The batarang is most effective for taking down these trees. The second glass tube to shatter will be located in between these 2 gardens. And the third one is on the right hand side of the flower wall. Three poison ivy goons armed with guns are waiting for you inside, but just like the henchmen, charge them down so they can't fire the weapons. Smash everything in this area and reassemble the pieces into a Robin suit changer. Jump in as Robin and equip the Attract suit. And now it's time to finally deal with those loose red, green, and yellow pieces. To use the Attract suit, hold down the build button and either aim with the Wii remote or use the right analog stick on whatever controller you're using and suck up all of the loose pieces around. You only need 25 for this area, but trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to pick up more than that. You're going to see why in a little bit. Use Batman's Sonic suit to take care of these benches. At this point, I now have over double the amount that I need for this section, and that means that I have even more than I need for the next section. I only need 50, but I wanted to keep some more because I just didn't want to leave them cluttered around. But once you're ready, switch to Robin and head over here and press the build button to deposit the 25 Lego pieces. Don't worry, the Phoenix Flytramp can't harm you unless you charge into it like a crazy person. Don't worry, the bomb can't harm you, it can only harm the Venus Flytrap, who stupidly ate the bomb. Two Poison Ivy Goons will come charging up the steps, but they're unarmed, so either use a Batarang or a few punches. Use a Batarang on this blue and yellow object to make a ladder drop from the ceiling, then climb up and proceed. Tempting as it is to end this right now and get those 4 blue studs, we don't have Robin's water suit yet, so unfortunately it's impossible. Three Poison Ivy Goons will come charging at you, but as always, just get up in their faces and punch them so they can't fire their weapons. Punch open this green canister and assemble the pieces into another suit changer. As Batman, jump in and equip the heat protection suit. You can't reconstruct or touch these orange Lego bricks without the heat protection suit, so getting up here and grabbing these 3 blue studs is essential, especially if you want that superhero. You're going to want to wait for these plants to close up before you jump across them. These leaves will not move, but the Lego-shaped lids will periodically open and shut, so be careful of those. These leaves are, for some reason, incredibly bouncy, so you can bounce your way up atop, over to the handrail, and across the pit. But if you want to take out that Poison Ivy Goon first, be my guest. Once you reach the other side, jump over as Heat Protection Batman, and reassemble these pieces into a zipline so that everybody can cross over the gap. And this is why we got those extra yellow, red, and green bits from before. Because while there are plenty of those in this room, what this room is also famous for is an infinitely respawning wave of henchmen and goons. And while you can survive it, it doesn't ever end, which means that you could sit here fighting forever and it will never ever end. Which means that collecting all of these pieces is an incredibly tedious process. So, it's much easier if you already have enough red, yellow, and green bits in order for you to head over to the machine and deposit those bits, rather than having to constantly stop to pick them up while constantly getting either shot at or punched by some form of Riddler, goon, or henchman. And you'll see here, I try to fight this off for a long time, but I got news for you, it never ever ends. Your best option is to just head over to this machine and deposit your yellow brick pieces into the machine. And if you're about to die by this one heart, do what I did and switch to Batman and just punch the guy that's shooting at you. Now, when you're faced with a wave like this, you're going to need to pull off some serious moves in order to not die. This means jumping around and punching the henchmen and the goons as they come, because everyone's armed with a gun this time, so getting up in just one of their faces doesn't do it this time, especially if you only have one heart like I happen to do here. However, dying isn't the end of the world because we already have the superhero achievement. Once you deposit your Lego pieces and open the door forward, you can proceed right to the next section. but I'm just going to quickly demonstrate that this fight sequence can go on legitimately forever. So once you finally decide that maybe moving on is a good idea, head over to the right and pass through the doors, because they will never stop spawning. Bust open these lockers and construct these pieces into some platforms in order for you to jump across the lake of goo. Smash these two plants and reconstruct the pieces into mechanisms you can use to open this door. Push on the green switch all around until it opens up the door, and you're ready to move into the final boss area. If for some reason you still don't have the superhero achievement, this is your last opportunity to smash up these plants to get some extra studs. Other than that, use batarangs or charge down any enemies that want you dead. Once all poison ivy goons are dead and you've smashed enough plants, head over to this section on the left hand side where you're going to find a pile of bricks that can be built, so hold down the build button to reconstruct them into a bomb. This bomb will soon explode in the plant's face and cause poison ivy to leave and jump into the next one. Rinse and repeat the process of infantry, plants, bomb, sit back. Infantry, plants, bomb, sit back. For some reason, Poison Ivy decides it's time to come after you. 9 times out of 10, Poison Ivy will chase down after Robin while you can deal with A, the infantry, and B, the pieces. So wait for the plant to cough up the last of the pieces and reconstruct a bomb. Unfortunately, Poison Ivy was way more concerned with me than she was with Robin this time around. So just wait for her to get trained onto Robin, and once the coast is clear and the pieces are ready, move over to where the pieces are spitting out of the plant, deal with any remaining infantry, reconstruct the final bomb, and then sit back and relax. As soon as the plant falls, start throwing punches at Poison Ivy. 4 successfully landed punches will drain her health, and that will be mission completed. This time around, we unlocked the heat protection suit for Batman, the sonic suit for Batman, and the attract suit for Robin. Alright, and that is going to do it for this episode of the LEGO Batman, the video game 100% walkthrough. So, I would like to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, and until then, it's been Gaming Magic 13, signing off saying I hope you have a fantastic horrible day, and I will catch you all next time where we're going to be taking on the 5th and final mission of the Riddler's Revenge, the Face-Off. Goodbye!